Hi, this is MD Shabana Sultana, working as Associate Professor in the Chebrool Engineering College, Chebrool. Yesterday, in the last lecture, I explained about the electrical insulator and electrical insulating materials also. And today I want to deal about magnetic materials. What are magnetic materials? How many types of magnetic materials are there? And origin of magnetism and all these things. And also the Hall's effect. First, let's see the definition of the magnetic material. What are magnetic materials? What is defined? What is the definition of magnetic materials? Materials which can be magnetized by an external magnetic field and remains in the same state, that is, it remains in the magnetized state even after the external field is removed. The materials that can be magnetized, that means if the external field is applied to the magnetic material, it acquires the magnetism and remains the magnetized state even after the external field is removed. And this magnetic material is either the ferromagnetic or ferrimagnetic. Ferromagnetic is the basic mechanism by which certain materials such as iron forms a permanent magnet or are attracted to magnets. When compared to the other type of magnetism, ferromagnet is the strongest type, produces the force strong enough to be felt. The examples of the ferromagnetism is the refrigerator magnet, which is used to hold the nodes on refrigerator doors. These materials that can be magnetized exhibit a long-range order phenomenon at the atomic level. That means the ferromagnetic material is mainly caused due to the presence of unpaired electrons, which are lined up parallel with each other in a region called the domain, CEA. If the electrons are unpaired, and which are lined up parallel to each other in a region called the domain. And each domain, it acts as a tiny magnet. In an unmagnetized piece of ferromagnetic material, the domains are randomly oriented. That means before applying the magnetic field to the ferromagnetic material, the electrons are arranged randomly. That means without following any order. After the application of the magnetic field, and in this, before applying the magnetic field, I already told the electrons are randomly arranged with each other. That means it is not following any order with respect to one another, and the net magnetic moment to such type of electrons are non-zero. When a substance is placed in the magnetic field, all the domains are oriented in a direction of magnetic field, and a strong magnetic effect is produced. This ordering of domain persists even when the magnetic field is removed and and it acts as a permanent magnet. Only a few substances are ferromagnetic. The common one are iron, nickel, cobalt, and most of the alloys, and also some rare earth metals. And coming to the material that can be magnetized by the external magnetic field and remains magnetized after the external magnetic field is removed are permanent magnet, which may be either the ferromagnet or ferrimagnet. And the ferrimagnet is observed when the magnetic moment of the domain in the substance are aligned parallel and anti-parallel, in unequal numbers. They are attracted weakly by the magnetic field, whereas ferromagnetic substances are attracted strongly by the magnetic field, whereas the ferrimagnetic substances are weakly attracted by the magnetic field as compared to that of the ferromagnetic material. And these substances, it loses its magnetic property on heating and or in the absence of magnetic field. That means if the magnetic field is removed, then the magnetic nature will be lost by the ferrimagnetic material. The best example for this is Fe3O4 and ferrites like MgFe2O4, NiFe2O4. So these are the examples of the ferrimagnetic substances. And apart from this, the magnetic property of the material, it lies in the orbital and the spin motion and how the electrons interact with one another. The best way to introduce different types of magnetism is to describe how the materials respond to magnetic field. In some material, there is no collective interactions of atomic magnetic field, whereas the other material, there are very strong interactions between atomic moment. And the magnetic behavior of the material are grouped into 5 categories. They are diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic, ferrimagnetic, and antiferromagnetism. This ferro and ferri we already discussed now. Coming to this diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and antiferromagnetic, we will learn what are those, what it is called, why it is called diamagnetic, why the magnetic substances will behave as a paramagnetic, and sometimes why the magnetic material behaves as an antiferromagnetic. We will see now. Diamagnetism means it is due to the non-cooperative behavior of orbiting electrons when exposed to the applied magnetic field. That means If we apply the magnetic field to the diamagnetic substances or any other substance, there is a non-cooperative behavior of orbiting electrons. This is due to the orbitals filled. The orbitals are completely filled with electrons, and there is no unpaired electrons in that. When such type of elements or magnetic substance, when it is placed in the magnetic field, then the value will be 0. That means the magnetic moment will be 0, as they are temperature independent. Such type of materials, diamagnetic materials, are temperature independent. The best example for this is a quartz and calcite. I'll tell once again. The diamagnetic substances, it is due to the non-cooperative behavior of orbiting electron when exposed to the applied magnetic field. That means if we keep the diamagnetic material in the applied magnetic field, that means if we apply the magnetic field to the diamagnetic material, the orbiting electrons will not cooperate. Why? Because the orbitals are completely filled with electrons and there is no unpaired electron. That's why the magnetization is completely 0 and they are temperature independent. Coming to the paramagnetism. If the material have some atoms or ions have net magnetic moment. In the previous one, I told the magnetization or the magnetic moment is 0 because of completely filled electrons. Whereas the paramagnetic substances, it exhibit the magnetization or magnetic moment, net magnetic moment, because of unpaired electron in a partially filled orbitals. That's why the magnetism is 0 when the field is removed. If we apply the magnetic field, it exhibits the magnetization. If we remove the magnetic field, for this substance also the magnetization is 0 whenever the field is removed. As long as the field is there, as long as the field is applied to the paramagnetic substance, it exhibits the magnetization. The best example for this is a clay, silicate, sulfide. Sulfide is also known as a pyrite. So this is about the paramagnetic substances. Coming to the last one, that is the antiferromagnetic. Antiferromagnetic means if two lattices A and B have exactly opposite sublattice moment where the net moment is 0 is called antiferromagnetic substances. Example for this is a hematite. The anti-parallel alignment of electrons is known as antiferromagnetism. Coming to the uses of the ferromagnetism, they are used to make the permanent magnets. Example for this is a steel alnico. Ferromagnetism is a very important in industry as well as in the modern technology, and it is a basis for many electrical and electrochemical devices such as electromagnets. That's why it is used in the electromagnet. The ideal material for making an electromagnet has to be one which has the least retardation loss. And it is also used in the electrical motors. These materials are useful for making the transformer. Example, some alloys with low hysteresis loss, radiometals, pearl alloy, and new alloy, new metal. And it is also used in the magnetic storages such as the tape recorders and hand disks. That's why this ferromagnetic material are used for coating the magnetic tapes in the cassette players, and for building a memory store in a modern computer. The best example for this is a ferrites. Next, coming to the Hall's effect. What is a Hall's effect? How it is used and the applications of the Hall's effect. Hall's effect is the production of voltage differences across the electrical conductor, transfers to an electric field in the conductor and magnetic field perpendicular to the current. And it was first discovered by the scientist known as Edwin Hall in the year 1879. When a current carrying semiconductor, if it is kept in the magnetic field, the charge carriers of the semiconductors, so this dotted line, this one, the charge carrying semiconductors experiences a force in a direction perpendicular to both the magnetic field and the current. See, current is in this direction. Magnetic field is in this direction. That means it is completely perpendicular to each other. At equilibrium, the voltage appears. See here, the voltage appears at the semiconductor edges. The simple formula for the Hall coefficient becomes more complex in the semiconductors, where the carriers are generally both the electrons and holes, which may be present in different concentration and have different mobilities. Mobilities means movement. And is given by the formula VH is equal to V into L by N into E into D. That means the phenomenon was first discovered, I already told, by Edwin Hall in the year 1879, when a conductor or semiconductor is placed in the magnetic field and a current is applied through the magnetic material perpendicular to the magnetic field, the voltage is created across the conductor perpendicular to both electric field and magnetic field. That voltage is called the Hall voltage, and the phenomenon is known as Hall's effect. See here, this dotted line represents the electron. The direction in this arrow mark, it represents the direction of the convention current. This direction is a direction of the electron movement. And this direction, downward direction, it is a direction of the applied magnetic field. While this voltage induces the current flow along the electric field direction, the charge carriers also experience, these charge carriers, it also experience the magnetic deflection from their path. This results a separation of positive and negative charges, and thus the generation of the electric field perpendicular to the direction of the current flow. See, current flow is in this direction and electric field is generated perpendicular to the direction of the current flow. Thus, it creates the internal electrical potential, which is known as Hall voltage. So, in this formula, D is the thickness of the metal. Along the direction of the magnetic field. Coming to the applications of the Hall's effect. This Hall's effect is used to determination of a type of semiconductor. That means what type of semiconductors are there. With the help of the Hall's effect, it can be easily determined. For an N type of semiconductor, the Hall coefficient is negative, whereas for P type of semiconductor, the Hall coefficient is positive. Thus, from the direction of the Hall voltage developed, this Hall voltage is developed. In what direction? This determines the type of semiconductor. That is, it is either the negative. If it is the Hall coefficient value is negative, we can easily identify that it is an N type of semiconductor. If the Hall coefficient is positive, we can identify it as it is a P type of semiconductor. And this Hall's effect are used as a magnetometers to measure the magnetic field. And the Hall effect devices is suitable for laboratory instruments. And Hall effect sensors have mass applications and analog to digital converters. Digital converters are there now. This Hall's effect is used in the digital converters. And Hall effect thrusters is used in spacecraft applications. Industrially, Hall effect joysticks are used. Hall effect joysticks are used to control hydraulic valves, scissor lifts, cranes, mining trucks, etc. And it is also used, this Hall's effect is used in the calculation for carrier concentrations. Once Hall's effect coefficient RH is measured, this RH, if it is measured, then carrier concentration can be obtained. And it is also used for the determination of mobility of the carrier concentrations. This is a formula of conductivity. Sigma n is equal to n into E into mu E. Hence, mu E is equal to sigma n by Ne. This is a constant. Therefore, sigma n into RH. Because the RH value can be derived from this equation. Thus, by measuring the sigma and RH of the sample, the mobility of the charge carriers mu E, this is the mu E is the mobility, movement of the charge carriers. This mobility of the charge carriers can be easily calculated if the value of sigma and RH was measured. And this Hall's effect is also used for the measurement of magnetic flux density. Magnetic flux. Using a semiconductor sample of the known RH, the magnetic flux density can be detected from the formula, deduced from the formula B is equal to VH into T by RH into I. So this Hall's effect is used for the measurement of magnetic flux density. So this is about the Hall's effect. And this is the uses of the ferromagnetic material. And this is the magnetic material, that is the diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic substances. Thank you.